Hey guys, welcome to the Hard 90 Baseball Podcast. I'm Joey, along with Nick and Carl. Over the course of this podcast, we're going to talk about anything baseball related, from the World Baseball Classic to the MLB. Now, for this episode, we're going to start with current news, the World Baseball Classic. Nick, Carl, let's hear your takes.
Do you want to start with the U.S.?
Yeah, we'll start with the U.S. I'm going to say this. I was watching the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix today, and I was thinking that this Team USA kind of reminds me a little bit of what like that team's motto. How like baseball was kind of like US's domain for a really long time, and now I feel like it's all the attention has shifted to like other countries like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and US has to kind of come out there and prove to everybody once again that they're the top dog. That's my
Yeah.
thoughts. I think they got the team to do it. The rotation scares me a little bit. Pitching scares me. They didn't get enough of the people I thought they were going to get. But I think they got a shot, if I'm being
I
honest.
mean, I think the fact that we didn't get everyone thought we were going to get is also compounded by the fact that other teams didn't get everyone they thought they were going to get. Like obviously, Jose Ramirez is not participating, so I think overall, I don't think that'll hurt us too much. We already have a very talented roster with players like Mike Trout and Bryce Harper like that, so I think we'll be fine in the end. I think we can compete with any
Looks like
team in this
looks like
tournament.
Bryce is not doing it because of his
Oh,
UCL.
he's not.
But
Yeah,
I mean, the
right. Didn't
lineup
he
is
just
still
have?
stacked.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
stacked. We don't need him. We don't
Oh,
need him.
it's still stacked. We'll go through. Okay, so you mentioned the rotation. So,
Yeah, let's
right now it looks like Kershaw is likely going to be the one.
not
It
necessary.
I don't know. I mean, Kershaw, he's the vet, got all the experience. So it's probably going to be
Yeah,
Kershaw, then Nestor, and then maybe maybe Wayno. They have Miles Michaelis,
yeah.
Lance Lynn, Merrill Kelly's really good.
But after
I
those
don't
top
know.
three guys, I feel like you got no one like special. You don't
Yeah, I
have
guess, but
another
also, I
Kershaw or
mean, there's a
Nestor.
lot of like time in between games as well. I mean, obviously they don't want Kershaw to pitch a lot of innings. He's what I think he's
Right.
34, 35 at this point.
Yeah, and a lot of these pitchers, you got to remember that a lot of these pitchers are going to be limited by their own teams in the MLB. They're not going to want them
Yeah,
to go out there and throw 4 or 5 games during the
Yeah.
World Baseball Classic. They're going to want them to throw maybe one or two,
What
and
actually
that's where I think
what actually
that's where I
surprised
think they're going
me
to hurt them.
was that the relief pitchers seem a bit like thin on the team. It's still, don't get me wrong, it's a very good relief pitching roster. But I think I expected a little like more out of that almost. It almost feels like a little bit of a weakness considering all the other like levels of talent we have at other positions.
Um,
the only thing in
yeah,
there
honestly,
is that I don't see. Okay, I guess they have one lefty reliever. That's Brooks Raley. I mean, I
mm,
don't know. They're a group of relievers are not big names, but they were all like really good last year. I mean, Devin
Yeah,
Williams
yeah,
is
that's
by
what I'm
far the
saying.
best. Devin Williams
yeah.
is disgusting. He should close.
If I
Yeah,
remember,
that's who I'm
Daniel
imagining is
Bard's
gonna
not too bad
close.
either. If I remember right,
Oh yeah, no,
Bard.
Bard's way up there
Yeah,
too.
Bird's pretty good.
Jason Adam was really good last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Graveman's been decent for like the last
The thing is,
2 years.
I'm looking at this roster, right? We have such a stacked outfield. I'm almost thinking I might rather take Mookie at second over McNeil
ooh,
and keep
How
and
long
be
has
able to
it been
keep
since Mookie's played second like consecutively though? That would be a concern.
it's
oh,
been
you mean
the minors is when he last played it.
so you're
But
thinking of
like
you'd rather
if we
have
can put
what Mullins out there instead of McNeil? I
yeah,
think they're
and
like
then we can
similar
have
level
a
players though.
McNeil and Betts or Mullins and
And
No, no,
Mullins.
no, no, no. McNeil and Mullins, because that's who you'd be replacing essentially. Because what is it? Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker, Schwarber would be
Well, you put Mike
DHing.
Trout.
Oh, or it would be Pete Alonso. Oh, that's tough.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
think.
then
That's
then
what I
I
was
think
thinking.
you
Like you
yeah,
don't
I
want
think you
to
might put
DH
Mookie at
Mookie
second
or
then.
Schwarber.
Yeah, the problem is
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
if do you want Schwarber like fielding at all?
well.
Like,
You got to remember, Nick, with the depth that this team has in the field, they're not going to be playing every single game. Like
so we
Schwarber's
can
not going to
change
be.
up the line.
Yeah, Schwarber's not going to be in the field every single game.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's tough because well, it looks like Anderson's probably not going to start because you have Trey Turner. Unless they would want to put. No, I don't think so. Because actually Arenado at third,
Well, you got
and then
Trey
what you put
Turner.
Mookie at second. Yeah, Mookie at second, and
Oh,
then
I might be.
Goldschmidt
I'm
at
looking at a
first.
different roster
I'm not
because
Yeah,
the roster I got on MLB on Fox does not say Trey Turner. It says Bobby Witt and Tim Anderson for our shortstops.
yeah. Trey
Which
Turner
honestly,
is
Bobby
also
Witt's
on there, I believe. Oh, I was looking at MLB Network's one. Let me look at the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
Because Trey Turner, I know he
I'm looking at
committed.
MLB on Fox. He committed, but I don't know. He might have gotten held back by the Phillies because he committed when he was a free agent.
No, I mean they have the full roster on MLB Network, and it says Trey Turner. So I'd assume that he'd play and start because he's one of the best players on there.
Yeah, I mean either way, you could also put like Tim Anderson and Bobby Witt are really athletic fielders that you could probably throw at second too as well, or third if you want to give Arenado a break.
Witt didn't he pretty much exclusively play third last year? I know he came up as a shortstop, but I think he's really just for speed on the base paths.
He is a good defender. I'll give him that too.
I feel like he's a versatile infielder. Like he pretty much exclusively played third, but he's listed as a shortstop.
I mean, I feel like he could almost play like if it comes down to it, which I doubt it will because of all the other depth at the other positions. But he could almost play like a Brock Holt kind of like role if we absolutely need him to. Almost like he has that kind of build.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in terms of like career position flexibility, that's probably Trey Turner.
Yeah,
but I don't know. He hasn't played anywhere other than shortstop or second base since he was like a rookie. So,
yeah. And then for catchers, I think we're probably starting Will Smith, right? Because he's the best all-around. JT, really?
JT.
I thought Smith was a better hitter.
I think it's definitely.
So I was thinking that's why.
Not last year. It was
not
Will
last
Smith
year, yeah.
In years before, but
also,
no,
I mean,
obviously JT is the best defensive catcher in the MLB as well.
I'm a big JT guy, and I know.
I mean,
he's
also
the best
JT kind of has the experience over him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think pop wise, and I didn't realize Will Smith had a down year. I didn't follow him too closely. I'm a big JT fan. But that's why I was thinking Will Smith because I only heard good things about him. All right, let's look let's check out the next roster.
I gotta say I have one major criticism of the Team USA roster. Last things here, don't see any Red Sox players. Big disappointment.
Well, Trevor Story committed, but he had his arm surgery, so obviously it's a little disappointing. But
I'd rather have as a fan of the Red Sox and a fan of Team USA, it's probably for the best that he didn't go to play.
Hey, he would be a good depth piece, all right?
Listen.
As a fan of the Red Sox,
the bench is going to be really cold.
I'd rather have him
coming in
heal up that arm.
Things up, okay?
Bench is going to be real cold. Okay, Carl.
Yeah.
Yankees fan down here.
Yeah, we're just
all right, let's go on the next roster. I got DR next on my list. We talked about them a little bit with their rotation. I think that their rotation is pretty solid. I think.
I guess
I'm looking at that. I don't see a lot of. Yeah, I don't really see a lot of weak spots. Yeah.
It's really who is their third starter going to be? Because is it going to be Johnny Cueto? Is it going to be Roansy Contreras? I think it's going to be Cueto just because of the experience.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the outfield right now.
I mean, I think it could be
who's going to be their left fielder?
Javier's a two.
They got Soto and right. Julio in center. Who's going to play left for them? Like, because you're not going to put Cruz out there. Cruz is your DH.
I think it's either going to be Ketel Marte if they want to do that, or it's probably going to be Teoscar. And I think they're going to try to sneak Nelson Cruz into the lineup. They might try.
I think he's going to be their DH, I think.
But then they have Rafi.
Yeah, they have Rafi and Manny.
Oh, that's tough.
And they have three shortstops that are like all really good too.
I think even Eloy would be a better DH option than Nelson. I think Nelson might just be a pinch hitter.
Absolutely. But Nelson is like he's basically the dad.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old.
He's the experience piece, yeah.
Yeah.
So, quick question for you guys then. If you're the coach of this roster, who are you starting at shortstop?
I'm gonna say Jeremy Pena actually.
I'm thinking Wander Franco.
Me too. I was thinking Wander.
Wander's definitely good.
Because Jeremy Pena, obviously he did win World Series MVP, which is pretty impressive. But his numbers on the season were obviously it's rookie stuff, but I'm pretty sure he had a 4% walk rate, and his K rate was crazy high, which makes sense for a rookie. But still, it's Wander Franco. He couldn't really put it together last season because of the injuries, obviously. But he's still stellar defensively and still has quite a bit of pop. So
honestly,
my only thing is why I'm choosing Wander over Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena, like you said, it was his rookie season. Not putting anything down on his World Series MVP. That was amazing. That was great for him. But my thing is, a lot of those rookies, after they have that kind of year, they come in, they hit that sophomore slump where they're just not nearly as good as they were. And I mean, look at Randy Arozarena. He was amazing in the playoffs in 2020? And then he came back 2021 during the regular season, and he was good, but not great, there was better players out there that I take over him at the position. So that's why I'm kind of feeling the same thing with not Wander, Jeremy Pena, and that's why I'm leaning Wander.
Honestly, I have a hot take here. Watch out, everyone. But
no, jeez,
potentially for some of the games. I'm not saying for all the games. I'm saying I could see Jeremy Pena being used at second base as well.
No, they have Ketel Marte.
I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to give Marte a rest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I guess I was just looking back, and Jeremy Pena finished with a 101 OPS plus, so basically a league average hitter last year, and also only had a 289 OBP, which is pretty putrid.
But
his defensive stats are pretty good. Did win a Gold Glove, obviously.
Oh yeah, no, he's a great young player. The thing is, he's young. That's his holdback in my eyes. That's what's going to be his holdback at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about the pitchers at all?
I mean, there's not much that really needs to be said. Sandy, great pitcher. Christian, going to be he's a good pitcher on his way up too. And then they got a solid rotation. I like the rotation better than I like Team USA's rotation.
Really?
I mean, I can understand that because World Baseball Classic playoff Kershaw,
Oh my god!
I mean, I wouldn't call it playoffs.
I'm a little worried about that.
God. Hey, but you got playoff Nestor too, so it kind of cancels out.
Yeah, exactly.
That cancels it out. Yeah,
that mustache, dude.
Underdog.
Well, the mustache.
I mean, you just can't.
If he shaves that, we're screwed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he that thing's never getting shaved.
Yeah.
You personally won't allow that.
You know what? I want the Yankees team, the 2023 Yankees team, to all walk out with Nestor Cortez mustaches on opening day. I want to see Tony Rizzo walk out with the stash. The only Yankee player I'll ever like. I want to see Tony Rizzo out there with the stash.
Oh my god!
Don't diss Mariano like that. I will protect Mariano Rivera till the day I die.
Hey, all respect to Rivera. I mean, I love that guy. I mean, because he was the only pitcher I can think of in history where you knew what the pitch was, you knew where it was going to be placed, and then you knew you weren't going to be able to hit it.
Yeah.
So it's just he's great, but I only like Rizzo.
All right. Do you want to move on? Do you want to do Puerto Rico next?
Yeah, we'll do Puerto Rico, and then we'll just we'll move on to our next segment here.
Okay.
Kind of keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Out of the three we're looking at, this is probably the weaker of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm being honest.
Like I'm honestly surprised.
That depth in the bullpen is insane compared to the other three.
Oh, yeah,
they got like
insanely
double the amount of pitchers they throw in there.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Their bullpen is kind of good though. Alexis Diaz.
Good
is
bullpens
really good.
can carry you.
Edwin Diaz's brother.
Edwin Diaz, yeah. You're obviously have
Edwin and his brother, and then Jorge Lopez is disgusting.
I don't. Let me look around the positions.
I know Yaxel Rios. I know who that is. Alex Claudio.
I don't know a lot of these.
They're all solid.
Yeah,
but I mean their rotation.
I gotta say, I'm not very impressed by their lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not 100% sure, but I was reading an article today. It was either DR or Puerto Rico. One of those teams, a lot of the pitchers they were going to get got held back by the MLB teams based on pitch count.
Oh, that sucks.
Like what they threw last season, they didn't want to run the risk.
Ooh, let them play.
Yeah.
I do wonder who's going to play first base for this team. I don't really see.
Yeah.
Maybe they might throw Vasquez or Melendez out at first or something because
Vasquez
right now
I was thinking catcher at first would work.
Yeah, just because.
Although I gotta say that is
I think they'll probably have Jose Miranda playing third. Yeah. And I think you probably want Kike in the outfield, like.
Oh, 100%. You don't want to take Kike out of the outfield. Unfortunately, the Red Sox are going to be probably going to end up doing that this year, I think. But at least until the what's the guy? The name of the guy they just traded for, the shortstop.
Adalberto Mondesi.
Oh,
as a Red Sox
he
fan,
comes back,
please help us.
Yeah, no, I like their roster, but I think it's if the DR and USA are on opposite sides of the brackets, it's going to come down to those two.
Yeah. All right. So.
I mean, I haven't seen Japan's team or anything, but
Japan might be gross. I don't really recognize. Probably won't recognize most of the names, but there's like a pitcher on there that throws like 103, and apparently Ohtani said he's not.
There's a lot of good pitchers.
Yeah, no. I guess Ohtani said that he's not the best player on the team. So.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be nutty.
The best
they might win it. Also,
there's one guy who's probably gonna come over in a couple of years.
Also, guys, one that I think can't be slept on. This one's I think actually a sleeper pick to win it all. Venezuela.
Look
at their roster.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of sleeper picks there. I mean, my sleeper pick for one of the brackets. Hold on, let me look at the brackets here real quick. Hold on.
Venezuela, they have one of the deeper teams here. I think.
Ooh, Gleyber.
Yeah, one of my Yankees legend, Gleyber Torres.
I wonder.
Is it?
I mean, honestly, I don't know who's going to start for them because they have a ton. They literally have 3 really good second basemen. Obviously, Altuve starting, but you also have Gleyber. You also have Andres Jimenez.
Obviously you have Ronald Acuna.
Okay, I'm looking at the pools right now. There's 2 teams that make it out of every division, and I haven't seen some of the teams for Pool A, but I think there's a good shot that obviously Cuba, I think, is going to be one of the teams getting out of there because it's Cuba. They're like Puerto Rico, but a little worse. I think I've heard a lot of rumors about what team a lot of the guys from Team Italy could team up over there. I'm not 100% sure who actually ended up committing to Team Italy, but I heard there's like Vinny Pasquantino, I heard could be going over there. Rizzo, I heard was interested, but I don't think he ended up.
I don't think he did. And then
there was
Vinny
one more
on the team,
big
though.
name.
I don't know.
There was one more big name too that I'm blanking. Oh, Benintendi, maybe? No, not Benintendi. There's one more big name that got over there. I think they have a shot, but they also have to go through Xander Bogaerts in Netherlands, which is always going to be tough.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next segment here. Hot take of the week. Let's see what Nick has to say. Let's see how we can prove Nick wrong today.
Okay, Nick, I have a few here.
Hot take of the week.
This one might get me some hate from Joey. I have a bad feeling about Team USA this year. I don't know. I can't explain it. I just have kind of a sinking feeling that there's been so much hype around this team for so much long, calling it the dream team. I feel like it's almost like set up for disappointment in a way. Like I think like
people aren't riding with Team USA this year. They're riding with the Dominican Republic. The DR has gotten way more hype than the US has this offseason. Like this,
that's my other hot take. That's my other hot take. This one's gonna be a scorching hot take.
All right.
Okay. So 1 second. I gotta tools real quick to make this hot take. Real quick.
Oh, are you trying to say the US isn't gonna make it out of the group stage?
No, I'm saying that the DR won't.
Oh.
I'm saying the DR ain't moving out of the group stage.
Who is the other one? Is it Puerto Rico that's in that same?
Puerto Rico, Venezuela.
And I think it's also. Oh wait,
that's interesting.
Israel in that one? I don't know. I think
Canada. No, Israel is.
Israel is in that one.
They are
in the U.S. Okay.
Yeah, but I think Venezuela or Puerto Rico, both of those teams have the firepower to be. The DR. I think they have the depth
in that pool, like that group. It's gonna be a bloodbath to get out of there. There's gonna be some upsets no matter what. I don't see the DR getting out personally. Yeah, and in terms of regarding to Team USA, like I said, I compare them a lot to the Redeem team because everyone thinks that they aren't going to be good, and there really hasn't been.
I don't know if they're Redeem team because they did win last. They won last WBC.
Yeah, but a lot of the things I've been reading about it is that Team USA stands no chance against Team DR, or like Puerto Rico could be Team USA because Team USA is filled with a lot of older players that are injury prone.
Oh, well, injury prone doesn't really matter if you're only playing like 5 to 10 games.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm thinking I'm riding with you, Team USA. Personally.
So my hot take, my next hot take, it's my choice.
Nick, it's one hot take per week.
Well, here's who I think is going to win it all.
Nick's giving us 3 hot takes, and I asked for 1.
Well, you knew where you were at. You knew I was going to do this.
All right, who's going to win it all, Nick?
I'm thinking Japan is going to win it all.
That's not a hot take, I feel like.
No, it's not a hot take at all.
I feel like it's not that
That's like a lukewarm take.
They literally have like
they have the best player in the world on their team.
Yeah, other than the US, they also have the second best league. Like Korea has the KBO, obviously, which they could also be really good, but
yeah. And like unlike the MLB too, the Japanese league is like almost exclusively people from Japan. So not exclusively.
Well, that hurts them a little bit. That hurts them a little bit.
Well, it also means that any amount of talent they have in that league and that they develop in that league stays in place for their national team as well.
That is true.
And also
that is true.
I don't
they don't have that.
I don't know if some other players from like other countries are gonna know a lot of these players from Japan. I mean, they probably will watch like a little bit of tape just to get that their delivery down. But
it's not like the MLB where it's broadcasted all over the world where you can easily find tape on anybody.
That's why I'm so excited to actually see Japan play this year because this is almost like a chance to see on MLB against MLB level talent how some of these players from the Japanese league play and compare. Obviously we know how good some of them are. We know how good Shohei Ohtani is. We know how good Seiya Suzuki is because he obviously has an MLB contract.
With that, we're going to transition to our next segment, our preseason MLB picks. We're not going to go through everything. We're just going to list our sleeper pick for who's going to make the playoffs that we think people are really sleeping on, and then our World Series pick, like who we think is going to play and make it to the World Series and win, obviously. So my sleeper playoff pick, I feel like a lot of people I think this is one of these sneaky good rosters that a lot of people don't really realize because they got a lot of young players that are very underrated. I'm going to go with the Cubs for my sleeper pick to make the playoffs because Nico Hoerner slept on second baseman. Very good. Suzuki, he had some injuries last year, so his rookie season wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but he's a good player. He was a good player in Japan. He's going to be a good player in the MLB. Dansby Swanson, I don't think I need to say anything more. Sexiest man in baseball. You look good. You play good. I think what can I say?
It's the flow.
It's got to be. Well, the blue Cubs jersey, just makes it even better.
Oh, yeah.
the beard combined with the flow, with the I'm not gay, but if
it does something to Joey. It does something.
All right, let's and then my World Series picks. So let's see. In the NL, I'm gonna go with coming out of the NL. It kills me to say it. I really don't like this team, but it's hard to see anyone but the Padres right now coming out of the NL. It kills me to say it, obviously, as a Red Sox fan. Like I want Xander to succeed, but like, who's competing with them? The Braves, maybe. The Dodgers, maybe.
Dodgers, but they always choke.
If the Phillies could pull it off again, I'd love that. I really want the Phillies back in there, but I think best chances are it's going to be the Padres, unfortunately, for me. And then in the NL or AL rather, I mean, I get the obvious pick would probably be the Astros because they seem to find a way there every year, no matter how good their team is or isn't. But I'm gonna go with let me see here. I gotta just run through everything in my head.
Low-key, if everything works out,
you know what? I got mine. This might be a little crazy, but I think it's finally the year Mike Trout makes it to a World Series. I think Listen.
I would understand
Can I finish talking first,
made
Nick?
the playoffs. That I'd be able to understand. That I'd be able to back up. But making the World Series, hell no, Joe.
You know, it's 2023. It's a new year. Ohio State lost start the year. Wonderful year to begin with. Then you got teams like Brock Purdy and the Niners going to the NFC Championship. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done because everyone got injured. But I think it's the year of the underdog, and I think Mike Trout and the Angels have been underdogs his entire time over there. No one thinks they're ever going to win. I'm going to put my money on it. I'm going to say Angels are going to make it. It's probably like plus $2 billion at this point in betting terms because nobody thinks they're going to be close. But you know what? I can't bring myself to say the Yankees or the Astros. So I'm going with the Angels.
I had a different team in mind from the American League, actually. I think
you want to go sleeper first, Nick?
Give us your sleeper first.
The sleeper for who makes the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Sleeper for any conference.
Yep.
Okay. Cubs are definitely one, but only thing is I would argue for the Cubs is I'd argue they're actually not that much of a sleeper. I almost actually expect them to win their division. Just because, look at the options.
Well, the intelligent minds of baseball, the three people in the Zoom meeting, think that they are a solid lineup. But there's a lot of big name sport reporters out there who don't think they have a chance. But even though their division is not
necessarily because of the Cubs' talent itself that they're going to make playoffs, which don't make me wrong, they have plenty of talent and stuff. It's just that compared to other playoff level teams, they don't have quite that oomph to make it a World Series or something like that.
Yeah, well, my thing was with the Cubs too. This is the first year we're seeing the Cardinals without Yachty in a long time. Now I know that shouldn't really matter for them because I believe they just got a catcher during the offseason, right? A new catcher. Didn't they get Contreras or something like that?
What? No, Contreras left in free agency.
No, I'm talking about the Cardinals. They got a new catcher, didn't they?
Yeah, no, sorry, that is Contreras. Yeah, so.
Yeah, they got Contreras, and so it shouldn't matter the missing piece of Yachty, but I think his leadership to that team was just so crucial that I think it might play a small role in how they.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Contreras is the much better hitter than Yachty at this point in his career.
But Yachty just,
that defense is still going to be
leader.
Yeah, and obviously leadership. Yeah.
All
right, Nick, give us your picks. I'm sorry.
Let me think for a second. I have one sleeper. I think is actually the Rays winning the AL East. I think that could.
I knew you were going to say that.
You're I just have a feeling. You're like me with the Cubs, dude. You think the Rays are the shit, and I think the Cubs are going to be good every year.
They're a well-run organization on a general managerial level. Obviously not ownership, or else they wouldn't be in.
Or else their minor league players wouldn't be eating PB&J for every single meal.
That is true.
Sleeping on the ground.
Worst ballpark in baseball. Like
I will stand and fight for that
No,
stadium.
no,
it's not
Nick,
bad.
no.
I've been there.
I know
It's
you've
not
I
that
know
bad.
you've been there so many more times than I have, but the one time I went there, sure, they beat Fenway with the seats are facing home. But like the seats are actually facing home plate, so I'll give them that. They have that over Fenway Park. But that is the quietest stadium I've ever been in. The catwalks suck. Whose idea was that? Whose idea was to put the dome slanted so that it gets shorter the further the ball goes out? Like it's stupid design. There's no seating in the outfield. It's bad. They don't even have the Ray tank anymore.
It's a cool stadium.
The Ray tank is gone. It's not cool anymore.
All right.
So that's your sleeper to win AL East. Let's hear your World Series picks.
World Series pick. Actually, this one might surprise you. It's a team from the American League West.
Let me guess. Mariners.
You know me. But I think that's a team, if everything absolutely works out, like I think
did they do that much in the offseason though?
They didn't really do that much.
They signed a couple of pitchers, I think, or traded for one. That was good. I'm blanking on the names.
They didn't really even do that much, but consider like against the Astros in that series this year, this was their first playoff run in forever. So it's not like anyone on that team is really that playoff experienced.
Yeah, but remember, like I'm a huge fan of the Mariners. I'm happy that they made it back to playoffs. But remember when the A's made the playoffs? What was that, like 3-4 years ago? They made the wild card game, and everyone was excited because it's the first time they made it back to that stage in years, and everyone thought they were going to keep going back, and they just made it sucked after that season.
The wild card though, like in that period, it
was like 3 years, Nick, if I'm not wrong. I mean, Carl, you know
about the A's, right?
Yeah.
The A's made the wild card in 18 and 19, lost both years, and then didn't make the playoffs.
After that.
Oh, no. And then in 20, didn't win. I think they lost. No. They won that series, but it was 2020. And then the next year,
that season,
they didn't make the playoffs, and then they blew it up. So that's what the A's do,
Yeah.
And I feel like the Mariners have kind of been following that same recipe, but except their recipe is more of get a guy like J-Rod or Ken Griffey Jr. and then waste their career, and then they leave in the offseason at the end of the career.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're.
All right, I'm sorry, Nick. I keep like making fun of your picks here. I'm sorry. Give us your other pick.
For the National League, I think the obvious pick is the Padres. Honestly, with it's simply not fair to have Bogarts, Soto, eventually Tatis, Machado, and all those other players in that one lineup. It's just not fair. That's like.
The thing I didn't realize about with Tatis is he's actually coming back like 30 games into the season.
Yeah, he's not gone for that long.
He doesn't have that many left, which is crazy to me. What also is crazy to me that the Padres decided to pay Xander Bogaerts for 11 years when he's going to be into his 41st year on the earth. That's crazy.
And also, just a couple hours before we recorded this, Yu Darvish signed an extension there for 6 years, and he's already 36 years old. So he'll be getting paid.
He's
like
going
42.
to 42. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think their whole thing is just avoiding luxury tax and just giving them a ton of years, and then eventually just dumping the contract like they did with Eric Hosmer.
Yeah, locking them up until they retire, basically.
Yeah.
Or they're not good anymore. I mean, is it a smart strategy though? Because it didn't really work out with Eric Hosmer, Nick.
No, it didn't work with him, but he just sucked in general. So
but the thing is, if the player you're trading has actual traits that another team wants, unlike Eric Hosmer, then it might work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better to just not hit a ground ball every play and not and if you actually know how to play defense, that's cool too.
Yeah, I honestly,
I think
that another
Eric Hosmer was the first real first baseman the Red Sox have had since 2019 when we lost Mitch Moreland or whatever year that
might be of more use to an MLB team as a hot dog vendor than as a first baseman.
He warms the bench real good for Bobby Dahlbeck, who warmed the bench really good for Tristan Casas. So I can't really complain too much.
All right,
Carl.
All right, so my sleeper team.
Hold on, one really quick. Just a little background for the viewers. Carl by far is probably the most knowledgeable when it comes to baseball between Nick and I. He's very into statistics and all that. I'm more of an eye test guy, so me and Carl often the times will have a lot of arguments on who's better because I look at him and I'm like, oh, like Michael Wacha last year. Statistics point to he sucks. But I look at him and I'm like, he's good. His ERA is good. He looks good. He's good. Carl's like, well, his K9 sucks. And then he just lists all the reasons why he's not good. So, like, this Carl's probably going to have some of the better takes out of all of us just because he's more knowledgeable about the sport.
I appreciate that, Joey.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. So my sleeper
team,
oh my God. My sleeper team is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Ooh,
for 2023.
Spicy.
I think they're pretty low key. They're in a super tough division, which is the main is the toughest thing. But if you look last year, their roster was not very good, and they still finished with 74 wins, which is which is really solid for them. And they did add a little bit more. I believe, they picked up for the bullpen. They picked up Miguel Castro. It was great stuff. They picked up
from Toronto, right?
Yeah, they did. They also picked up
Alejandro Kirk,
the super
Moreno, isn't it?
Yeah, Gabriel Moreno. He's still he played. I don't know if he's gonna start right away or not. I know he's still.
He probably won't.
Like,
he'll come in at some point this year.
Yeah. They got Lourdes Gurriel in that same trade.
That's a steal.
He's a really good hitter. He's kind of underrated.
I don't know how they got Gurriel.
I remember seeing that trade like dumbfounded because of how much I remember watching when he came to play at Fenway with the Jays last year. He was good, and I was like, I don't remember him being as good as he was in 2020, and then they trade him the very next year, and I'm like, all right.
No, because Dalton Varsho, very underrated, just because the Diamondbacks aren't that good. He was really, really good last year. He's a really good player. I think he could have a consistent 4 to 5 WAR seasons for a long time. But
definitely.
And the main thing for the Diamondbacks is their pitching coach is Brent Strom. So if you remember the Astros when they were disgusting and spider tack and spin rate and stuff like that, that was Brent Strom. I believe he went to the Diamondbacks to go closer to family. But he's probably the best pitching coach I've ever seen. Zach Gallen was one of the best pitchers in baseball last year.
He's the best pitching coach you'll ever see until future Red Sox pitching coach Pedro Martinez comes on the scene for Bayo. Apparently, I heard a little rumor real quick. It's a little distracting from our segment here, but Pedro has been giving Bayo some pitching lessons this offseason. They had a rookie or young players training camp in January, and Pedro was there giving tips to Bayo the entire time, and they built that relationship real strong. So I've heard some rumors that he might come onto the coaching staff for 2024.
Yeah, I believe he also did that to Davey Garcia, so didn't really work out that well.
Bayo has a lot more talent than Davey Garcia.
I know. No. Yeah, no, just because they said he was Pedro, which is a little bit far from the truth.
Oh, a little bit is a
little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. So and then I think
all right, and then
I'll move on to my American and National League. So American League, it's gonna be the Astros until it's not the Astros for me. Yeah, I'm a Yankees fan, so they've haunted me.
It's gonna be Yankees
every time I close my eyes, it's the Astros.
They're in your head.
It's gonna be Yankees.
Red free.
It's gonna be Yankees, Astros, ALCS until either Aaron Judge breaks an arm or Dusty Baker decides to retire.
New Golden State Cleveland.
It's really crazy. And then National League, you guys really haven't mentioned them because I know I want to say the Mets because I know that they're Mets until they're not the Mets.
I love the Mets, but the Mets are gonna Met, as my good friend
Mets
Nick here says every single season. The Mets are gonna Met.
We thought it was gonna be the Mets this year, Carl.
The Mets are the Red Sox of the NL in my mind.
Dude, don't compare
either them or the Cubs.
Oh God.
Am I wrong though, Nick?
No, you're
won more World Series recently. But like,
listen, the Red Sox have at least done shit. Like we both end up getting talented rosters, but at least the Red Sox can occasionally like do shit like win a World Series with it. But like,
yeah, but we win a World Series. The thing is, they're always making playoffs and losing first round. The Red Sox will win a World Series and suck for 3 years, and then be back in the playoffs and suck for another 2 years, then win the World Series.
Well, that's just because of how we build our teams. Almost,
it's been the same cycle since 2003 when we first lost to the Yankees in the ALCS.
I mean, it worked. It's worked. Since that time, we've won more World Series than a ton of other MLB teams in this league. So I know.
Worked. I'm not putting the Sox down. I'm just saying the Mets are the closest thing that NL has to the Red Sox.
I mean, I guess it's true considering they're like almost like the Mets are like a mercenary army at this point, with just hiring guns.
In recent history, at least, because all time it's probably the Cubs, if I'm being honest, because of the curses and sucking for years and blah blah blah.
Yeah, true.
All right, so those are your 2 picks. I like your picks. I like it. I like Nick's picks. I like my picks. I like mine the best. But all right, moving on. I'm gonna actually throw a quick. Oh wait, what was I gonna do? I had another segment in mind that I just.
It was the GOAT of, or sorry, the Michael Jordan.
The Michael Jordan of baseball, but there's another one I just had in mind that I was thinking of while we were doing this that I forgot about. But that's all right. We'll move on to the Michael Jordan of baseball. So I know everybody's picks. These 2 don't know their own picks. So I'm going to start off with.
I know.
Well, I'm saying you don't know Nick's pick.
Oh yeah.
Your pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with Nick.
Not even I know my pick.
That's why I'm starting off with Nick.
Why?
A little bit of a wild
He's gonna come up with something on the spot, and then we're gonna clown him. That's just the routine.
This is a trap.
Nick, let's.
I plead the 5th.
I know your original answer was nobody. There's no such thing as the Michael Jordan of baseball.
I mean, it's true.
It's true.
It's such a team sport. There can be no single individual as impactful as Michael Jordan is.
Yes, but and that's the beauty of baseball. But you need to have an answer. There's got to be someone that you think of as
like.
This
are
guy
we talking like the Michael Jordan of pitching, different. The Michael Jordan of hitting, like
overall accolades, talent, skill.
If we're talking overall,
mentality, I guess.
If we're talking overall, I'm gonna have to go with Shohei Ohtani. Like I know that he doesn't have all the feats yet, but just the pure amount of talent and the ability to play both positions really like kind of shows like the impact he has on his team and on the league.
Well, after I agree with you. After the Angels win the World Series this year against the Padres, I think Shohei could be considered the MJ of baseball.
Nah, you a clown for that one. No.
Hey, I know the Mets are gonna Met, and the Angels aren't gonna Angel. All right, this is their year.
Go Art Moreno.
Yeah, Art Moreno's gone, but
no, he's not.
Oh, he isn't yet?
He's back. He's back and he's better than ever.
Back, yeah.
Oh my fuck.
All right. So
you know what they say.
You don't have any other defense to your pick. You don't have any other defense to your pick. That's it. Just Shohei. Best player in baseball right now.
He's best player in baseball right now, and also just like if we're talking the Michael Jordan of baseball. So like what I mean by the Michael Jordan is like who has the most impact, like who's the best, who has the greatest.
Who changed like in terms of changing the game, accolades, talent.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no one right now who's changing the game more than Shohei Ohtani. Like he's literally redefining how we look at positions, how we look at certain players. Like there are all those critics who, when you're coming to the league, saying, "Oh, you got to either hit or you got to either pitch," and he came in and won an MVP doing both at a serious professional level. Like that's like that's not the right words for that. At an MVP level, pitching and hitting. So I would say Shohei.
I agree with you. Currently, Shohei would be the MJ of baseball if we're talking current players.
Yeah.
However, who was the Shohei before Shohei?
I mean, I don't think there is another Shohei before Shohei unless you count Babe Ruth. Yeah, obviously.
It was Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth actually won something.
Yeah, that's true. It's just so like that's the easy answer. It's also just so far removed from modern baseball at this point.
Well, that's not my pick. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
to counter your argument here, like, I
If
mean,
I
there's
had to pick
guys
a
out
player
there.
that wasn't Shohei Ohtani for the MJ of baseball, counting purely hitting here because it's not a pitcher, I would say it's Barry Bonds, just for how like dominant he was for his era. Steroids
Okay,
or not, you gotta admit he was like the shit in baseball at his time period. Like you don't just walk like walking someone with the bases loaded and getting intentionally walked as many times as that's like MJ getting like triple covered or something.
right. No, I get it. All right. Um, Carl, Carl and I basically all our picks are very similar.
Do you want me to go first, and then you can?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Joey first proposed this question to me, I had to make it clear if he said it was the Michael Jordan of baseball or the GOAT of baseball, and he said it's the Michael Jordan of baseball.
There's a
So
difference.
so there is a difference.
If we're talking GOAT, it's like just
it's Barry Bonds to me for GOAT.
Oh, easily.
Because he's the best player ever. But when
the
I think
Michael
of
Jordan
I think of it's mostly winner and or being a winner and having a winning mentality.
Oh God, no.
Oh yeah.
So you already know what's coming.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's Derek Jeter.
I knew as soon as Carl asked for the clarification, I knew exactly where he was going with it. I knew he was going to say Jeter.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I know, like, statistics wise, you know, not the best offensive or defensive shortstop of all time.
But he was a leader and a winner.
He's a leader. He's a winner. You know, if you just talk about like as a person, very similar to Michael Jordan. In terms of like the way he would answer the media, in the terms or in the way they carry themselves. I mean, obviously Jeter wasn't a big gambler, but
well, as far as we know.
But you know, I mean,
it's not illegal right now, Carl. You got to remember, they can do it if they want to.
What was his purchase of the Marlins, if not a gamble?
that was throwing your money down the toilet.
No, that was trying to make the Yankees good again and sending them Giancarlo for a box of scraps.
Yeah, I guess. No, but it's really just winning. It's winning is leadership, and Jeter won 5 world championships. So, you know, that'll do it.
You know, Carl, I'm glad you said winning because that brings me to my pick. And Nick, you're probably gonna hate me for this pick, but my pick, I thought of a lot of guys when I first thought of this question. You know, I was thinking, oh, maybe Ken Griffey, maybe Bonds, maybe. Then I was trying to think outside the box. So I came up with like Rickey Henderson. I went deep into the rabbit hole for that one. Then I settled on this one guy, this one nice Italian boy. The second Yankee I'll ever claim to like, Joe DiMaggio. And I'll tell you why. I have his stats here. I did a little research. Nick is dead, but this is why. It kills me to put a Yankee on here, but Joe DiMaggio is just, I think he's like the second best player of all time, in my opinion, behind Barry Bonds as well. But Joe DiMaggio, 9 rings, 10 AL pennants. He went 9 for 10 in the World Series, 3 MVPs. He was named the AP Athlete of the Year in 1941. Yeah, 41. He holds the record for hit streak at 56 games. He has a .325 career batting average, 2 batting titles in 39 and 40, 11 All-Star games. He was voted the greatest player of all time in baseball in 1969. Had an OPS of 977, an OPS plus of 155, slugging 579, and I couldn't find like his average WAR, but his cumulative WAR for his however long he played was 79.2. I don't know if that sounds right to you, Carl.
That's his baseball reference WAR. Yeah. No, I just pulled it up.
And on top of all that, he missed 3 years because of the military. And he's one of the best defensive players at his position of all time. So I gotta go Joe DiMaggio. And after looking at his stats, I think he might be the best player of all time. Maybe behind Barry Bonds, because Barry Bonds just had that level of dominance that very few people have. But when I think of if I'm comparing him to basketball players, I'm thinking Barry Bonds is more of a Shaq, you know, and that's why I go Joe DiMaggio for Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I mean that 977 OPS as a career is just amazing. I'm just trying to see. I know
in 9 rings,
OPS plus in general. He is tied for 25th all time in OPS plus, but obviously, the defense is there as well. So
yeah, and you also missed 3 years of his prime fighting in the military. He's like Ted Williams, if Ted Williams could play defense, and when Ted Williams came back from the military, he did not miss a beat.
Yeah.
I know I'm not hearing Ted Williams slander in here.
It's not Ted Williams slander.
You know what? Actually, Joey, I think because I'm looking at it now, looking at this like list, DiMaggio only playing 13 seasons is actually pretty wild, because you see a lot of these like Babe Ruth, I believe this is 22 seasons, Ted Williams 19 seasons. Right now, Mike Trout has only played 1 less year than Joe DiMaggio.
Damn. Well, it's crazy the stuff that he's like. I know statistics wise, that's going to look a lot worse on his end, but for the stuff that he accomplished in those 13 years, like he won 9 rings in 13 years. I mean, if that he's been to the World Series 10 times, I believe, because AL pennants, 10 AL pennants, 9.
Yeah.
So that's to me, that's and I mean, I know it was 1969, but he voted the greatest of all time in 1969 when you're going up against Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Willie Mays, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, even.
Yeah.
I can see why you picked DiMaggio. I respect it.
It was out of the box.
I did not realize 9 rings in 13 seasons.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's MJ shit right there.
Yeah. What I was thinking, I'm like, I know he won a lot of rings because he was in the peak Yankees. Yeah. But I don't know how many. So I looked it up and it said 9. I'm like, and then I saw how many seasons he played. I'm like, this has to be the only option.
Yeah.
The guy won 9 MLB rings and 15 different other rings. He's absolute GOAT.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad I won that and convinced all you I was right.
No, actually, I can see your point. Obviously, I think Barry Bonds is better in terms of talent and some stats because he's Barry Bonds, but I see the point. He fits more the MJ model better.
Gotcha.
As much as it hurts to put him over Ted Williams.
Yeah. It hurts me too, but he's a nice Italian boy. So I cut him some slack.
Also, we're in the middle of the curse. That hurt Williams's feats.
Yeah. So. And just real quick, I just want to circle back to our preseason MLB picks. I forgot to mention I want to do our picks for AL and NL MVP real quick. I'm going to shoot that off to Nick. Just a quick, no explanation, just your 2 picks, and then because we're running out of time here, 2 picks, and we'll sign off.
NL MVP, I'm going to say Ronald Acuna. I think he's going to go off. I don't think the Braves are going to win the World Series or anything, but I could see him going off being fully healthy. AL MVP. This is going to be another hot take here. This one's going to be a bit of a surprise. Carl, how good is the Rangers stadium? Is it a pitcher hitter friendly field?
It's not Corey Seager.
Well, is it a good hitter's field?
No.
Okay, but because my pick for MVP is actually Jacob deGrom.
That's
a new pitcher-friendly stadium. And also, if he continues on that historic pace he was on before he got hurt.
It's also climate controlled, so that does help.
Exactly. Yeah. It's in literally the perfect conditions. If he comes back like he was pitching in the Mets last time he was fully healthy, then I think he could have one of the greatest pitching seasons of all time.
All right, will he be fully healthy?
Will he?
Yeah, that's a big question.
That's the question.
All right, we got to keep it moving here. Carl, go ahead.
Okay. AL MVP. It's very tough for me to not. Actually, you know what? I was gonna say Aaron Judge again, but I'm gonna say Yordan Alvarez. He's one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Yeah. So he just pulverizes baseballs. So yeah, he's very fun to watch. It hurts that he's on the Astros though. It really sucks.
It hurts everybody.
NL MVP. You know what? I don't know. This might be kind of a sleeper one. I'm gonna say you're not gonna like this, Joey. Manny Machado.
I hate Manny Machado. Just a little background, real quick. I am the biggest Dustin Pedroia fan to ever walk this earth, so I hate Manny Machado with a burning passion.
It's on site.
I respect his talent. Hey, don't even give me that's on site. You were rooting for the freaking Padres for the playoffs half the time.
Because it was against the Dodgers.
Manny Machado ruined Pedroia's career. He still had a solid 5 years left, and then Machado gone.
Okay. Let me explain my Manny Machado pick.
Just real quick. You got to keep it moving.
Last year, Manny Machado over 7 F4, very, very good. Finished top 3 in the MVP, and he will be opting out after the season. I almost guarantee it.
Oh no.
That'll be opting out, so it's a contract year. So I think he's gonna win MVP. It's either him or his teammate, but Joey might pick him. So
okay, so NL, I'm gonna pick Juan Soto. It's Juan Soto. I don't know how else to describe it. It's Juan Soto. And then AL, I was gonna pick Jordan, but Carl beat me to the punch, so I'm gonna pivot here, switch it up. A guy that a lot of people thought could compete for the MVP last year, and kind of like he did, but not really. He could have had a better year. Carl's probably not gonna like this pick, and probably not Nick, oddly enough. But I'm gonna go with Rafael Devers. You know, he just got that big extension. He has to prove himself to the fans, to the organization, that he has to play well. You know, I know it's not a contract year for him, but he has to kind of prove his worth now, that because he held out waiting for all that money that the Sox did end up giving him, and a lot of fans weren't happy because we wanted to give that to Xander instead.
I mean,
not me, but I know.
I don't hate that pick at all. You know, I think he's a phenomenal hitter. It's just like, can his negative defensive value still prop him up? Because he's gonna have to have at least like an 8 WAR to win MVP, and I have a hard time.
This might just be my eye test,
unless he has like a 180 OPS plus or better.
Right. This might just be my eye test. It might just be my eye test. But over the years, watching Rafael Devers for the past how has it been? How many years has it been, Nick? 5 years. Yeah, watching Rafi, his defense has progressively been getting better. Might not have been statistically, but it looks like it's been getting. Oh, in his rookie year,
it was ugly to watch.
No. It does look better, but I swear, because I'm always fooled because for some reason against the Yankees, Rafael Devers turns into Jesus Christ defensively, but not against any other team. Against any other team, he's below average to average. So
yeah. Well, you know, at the end of the day,
yeah, we're running out of time as well.
All right, so I'm gonna sign off here, guys. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. And I think we're going to try to get it up on Apple Music as well. This is the Hard 90 Babe podcast. Signing off. Hopefully we see you guys next episode.
See y'all.